Okay, so today we're going to do a chest and a quad workout. Again, like I said, what I'm doing at the moment is not really the issue. There's no right or wrongs. So I'm just going to go through my workouts for now, just to show you the structure of how quick and efficient and effective these things can be. So today is chest, which is going to be 3 exercises, a total of 6 sets, including warm-up. That's it. 6 sets, I'm done. Then we're going to do 2 quad exercises, 6 sets for legs. Legs are a bit more doable. They can do a little bit more. So that's it. Nothing fancy. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're heading down to my gym for another episode of exactly how I train. There's no frills, no edits, no cuts, no bits taken away. So let's take you inside here and get it done. Okay, so today we're going to do a chest and a quad workout. Again, like I said, what I'm doing at the moment is not really the issue. There's no right or wrongs. So I'm just going to go through my workouts for now, just to show you the structure of how quick and efficient and effective these things can be. So today is chest, which is going to be 3 exercises, a total of 6 sets, including warm-up. That's it. 6 sets, I'm done. Then we're going to do 2 quad exercises, 6 sets for legs. Legs are a bit more doable. They can do a little bit more. So that's it. Nothing fancy. Let's get into it. Again, like I said, the next few sessions I'll talk you through what I'm doing and why and all the rest of it. But for now, I just want to show the structures of how we do it. So first up, I've got a cable fly, because I've got a cable machine in my gym. Great exercise for isolating. All I'm going to do at this point is just wake the body up, get a bit of blood flowing around, but more importantly, just get the mind ready for what's about to come. Reps and sets, I'm not really bothered. Reps, I'm not really bothered. You know, it's about the effort and the intensity, not counting numbers. Okay, so we've done a light warm-up stretchy set. We're now going to do like a 70% set, sort of bridging the gap. Just these are the warm-up sets, and then we do 1 set, and that's the set we push to the limit. Okay, again, 6 to 8-ish rep range. And the reason for that is we don't want to do junk sets. We don't want to do junk reps by doing 15s and 20s. All we're doing is eating into our reserves. Okay. Okay, that felt good. So now I'm going to select the weight that I think is right to allow us to get into. Now I'm interested. Up until then, I say when I train people, I'm not interested in the first sets, right? I'm joking, of course, but I'm really not interested. When we get down to the 1 set, now I'm interested. Now you've got my attention. Now we're in the game. So I've selected the weight. This is what I'm going to be doing this 1 set. This 1 set to failure. Now, I'm going to be doing some extra stuff at the end of it. So this 1 set is stretched out. So I'm emptying the tank. Does that make sense? I'm emptying the tank. There's nothing left to give on this exercise. Then it's done. There ain't no point in shooting the horse again. It's done. drop in a couple of plates. Same set. This is an intensity technique, and we'll go through these in future episodes. Now I'm empty. That's it. Done. That's that exercise. Done. Nothing left to give. There ain't no point in doing no more. Okay. Exercise 2. So now we're going to move on to dumbbell chest press. One thing to think about, I train alone, so it's hard sometimes to push really big weights because I haven't got anybody here to help me get them up. But we'll do what we can do. Still pushing, still to the limit. Probably could go heavier, but again, that is not the point. The point is to stretch the muscle, work that muscle, not lift weights. Completely different thing. Okay. Ooh. So first set then. So just 2 of these. The chest is warmed up. The chest is fully warmed up now, so there's no point in going through 3 or 4 sets. So 1 set, about 70%, just to get the groove, just to get the exercise, and then we'll go in with the final one. Okay. One more set to come. Ooh. Forgot to say as well, rest periods. I'll rest a little bit longer in between the 70% and the last set, but depends on the exercise. Like chest press is quite intense, so it'll take a little bit longer. Leg press, for example, I will take a bit longer again to recover, because we're not trying to rush it, we're just trying to be super efficient. Okay, last set of chest press, and we move on to the last exercise for chest. Was tough. Noticed the last one to get it up was really hard. I knew I had nothing left to give, so I got it to the top and then just controlled it on the way down to get that extra one out, and I'll explain that in the next video or 2. But the point is showing that I've taken that muscle to the end, that there's nothing left to give. Yeah, that's what I want you to take away from these. That's it. Okay, next up, last one for chest is I'm going to put in a 1 set of sort of low to high flies, just as a bit of a finisher, so to get that extra bit of squeeze in there. Nothing too heavy, just enough to get the squeeze into the chest muscles, and then we're done. We're out of here. So 6th and final set coming up, we're in screen. Okay, this is it. One set, don't forget. 5 seconds, we go again. That's it. Woo. That is chest done. Now, I ordinarily, even if I'm in here on my own, I'll walk around during the sets. A, to get some steps in, and B, just helps with recovery. Just recover a bit quicker, getting rid of all the waste products out of the body. So 2-3 minutes now, little drink maybe. And then we've got 2 sets of quads to come, and we're done. That's it. That's it. That is it. All done. Okay. So we're going to do, make sure you're in shot. Let's get you in. Like I say, now we're going to do quads. Legs, like most muscle groups, you can't really isolate. You can emphasize, you know, when you do quads, you're stabilizing everything else, but we're going to predominantly focus on quads. So going back through the process, a couple of sets to get the quad muscles warmed up. Again, I'm not counting the reps at this point. I want a bit more down chest, shoulders and back, because legs are a bit more durable, in my opinion. But again, I'm not counting them. And while we're resting, if anybody wants a bandana, I'm going to give one away. So anybody, just stick it in the comments, use your routine, like, subscribe, and stick in the comments if you want a DHP bandana stroke schnood, because one could be yours. Okay, again, minimal rest, because that was a warm-up set. It hasn't taxed my body or my system. You don't need to spend 2-3 minutes. Okay, again, quad. Now selected a weight, which according to my numbers is going to be the one that pushes me. And don't forget as well, not every session can be an absolute ripper. It can't. And having a lesser session or an 80% session, perfectly fine. And today, for me, this is one of those days where it ain't, you know, all guns blazing. For whatever reason, you know, it could be sleep, it could be hydrate, it could be whatever it is, stress levels, anything. The idea is get in there and get it done. It's 20 to 30 minutes. That's it. This will probably be about 30, allowing for the talking, which I wouldn't normally do. Okay. Big breaths, get plenty of air in, get plenty of oxygen in. One set. And again, we're going to go through the psychology of stuff, but this is lesson 1 for me, psychology of training. One set. This is going to hurt. This is going to take me to a dark place. This is going to be uncomfortable, but it's only one set. When this is done, I haven't got to go through that again. So I may as well give it that extra bit, get those extra couple of reps, go to the darker place, because I haven't got to do it again. That's the psychology behind the one set. You get more out of it because you're putting more into it because you haven't got to do it again. I hope that makes sense. I will talk about that in more detail over the weeks. And don't forget, anybody wants to see anything, request anything, let me know and I'll do a video. No bother at all. Okay, dial in then. One set. Done. After the initial lot, lactic acid kicked in, so it took 3 or 4 seconds. It went. I did 3 or 4 more, then a couple of half scruffy partials. That's that set taken to the end. That's it. That's that one done. Okay. Next up, we're going to go with, again, I always have a little bit of variety in the sessions, but just enough to give you that mental release and break without making stuff up and having junk, you know, just doing random stuff, you know, do the stuff that works, stuff that's proven. So what I'm going to do now is a front elevated split squat, okay? Again, it'll work the glutes as well, of course it will, but the idea is to focus as much on the quads as possible. Okay, let's make sure we're in the shot. Do a little set either side. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so front elevated on a block. I've just got a 15 kilogram plate. That's it. So elevate in 2 inches. Find that safe, that nice, stable, comfortable spot. One set to get the groove, and then we're in. Notice I'm trying not to lock out at the top. I'm trying to keep the tension on the muscle we're trying to use. Okay, other side. If anybody does these, it looks such an innocuous exercise. I mean, your foot is 2 inches off the floor, negligible. Your back knee is going to the floor, coming up. That's it. Man, it's brutal. It's brutal. And I think one of the reasons you don't see people doing stuff like this anymore, quite frankly, 2 reasons. One, it doesn't look, you know, it's not a squat or it's not a glory exercise, but more importantly, it's too hard. It's too hard. You never see people do dumbbell squats either. Too hard. Okay. Last exercise coming up. Again, I flex it. You know, my legs are pretty, my quads are pretty done. So I'm only going to do one set now, so that's 5 sets in total. That's it. Sometimes I may, you know, I may do an extra one of these, but when I think I'm at the limit, it's just a waste, just a waste. But the last set is the principle. That's what we're looking for, that last set. This one set, done to failure, and we're finished. Once this is done, we're finished. Session over. Okay. Whew. Super safe. It's dumbbells, you can just get rid of them. But that was taken to the limit. There's nothing left. Nothing left to give. Okay, a minute or two. The other side, done. Whew. Okay, same routine, one set. This is the end. Get stable. That is that. So just to recap then, chest and quads today, although that's not what we're trying to demonstrate. 6 sets for chest, 3 sets of flies, a fresh air set, a 70% set, and then 1 all-out set taken to the limit. 2 sets of dumbbell press. Again, I'm on my own, so that weight was the max I could have done on my own. 1 set, 70%, 1 set all out, you know, with that control to try and get that muscle used as much as possible under tension. And then 1 set of low to high upper flies just to empty the tank. Chest done, 6 sets, done. Then we did 3 sets of leg extensions, fresh air, 70%, and 1 set push to the limit. And then 2 sets of front elevated split squats. 1 set again, that's a sighter set, and 1 set done to failure. I think it was 11 reps. Great, job done. That's it. Again, I've got nothing to add or take away or think I should say or anything. That is an actual session. That is mine. I've got, I write up my own sessions in sort of a 2-week block. I have sessions 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So and then repeat. That's one of my chest and quad sessions. That is it. Nothing added, nothing taken away. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And whoever wants one of these are pretty snazzy. Let me know. But in the meantime, let's get training. We've got 3 routines on the channel so far. Let's go do them, man. No excuses. 20 to 30 minutes. We're out here. Have a great day. Adios.